Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over some of the litany of allegations made against Vince McMahon. Do these alleged instances prove a history showing a pattern of behavior? I won't share an opinion and let you be the judge. Remember how shocking it was to see this or read a story with basically the same headline?
Vince McMahon, the infamous founder of World Wrestling Entertainment, has resigned as executive chairman of its parent company. The move came a day after McMahon was accused of sexual assault and sex trafficking in a lawsuit.
That was a result of allegations, so now let's take a look at some of the stories with these allegations. Here is a clip discussing a lawsuit and allegations by former referee Rita Chatterton, as well as allegations with a tanning salon attendant.
Yeah, what potential pattern have you been tracking over the years? How would you characterize it?
Well, there have been allegations going back as early as 1992 when the first female referee of the World Wrestling Federation, Rita Chatterton, came forward and said that Vince had raped her in 1986. There was a tanning salon employee in Boca Raton in 2006 who claimed that Vince McMahon assaulted her sexually. And of course, there are all of the claims that were reported in the summer of 2022 that caused Vince McMahon to step back, although he retained financial power and then brought himself back as the executive chairman.
This clip is about the NDAs that came to public light last summer. At the time, the story was more about using company funds for hush money payments and not so much the assault allegations.
New allegations have emerged involving WWE billionaire CEO Vince McMahon. The WWE board released a statement this morning that the company is looking into a potential $3 million hush money settlement over an alleged affair McMahon had with an employee.
WrestleMania!
The World Wrestling Entertainment Board investigating its own CEO, Vince McMahon, over claims of a $3 million hush money settlement to hide an alleged affair. That, according to reporting from the Wall Street Journal. The Journal, citing documents and people familiar with the matter, went on to report the woman was a paralegal for the WWE hired in 2019. And the deal struck in January was intended to prevent her from talking about the relationship or making critical statements about McMahon. A spokesman for the WWE telling the paper the relationship was consensual, that it's taking the matter seriously, and that it's cooperating with the board's investigation, which started in April.
When you're a board member of a public corporation or, getting paid to serve on a board, you have what's called a fiduciary duty to the company. In general, the board is the boss of the CEO of any company.
The WWE, which we should note has a broadcasting partnership with NBC News parent company, did not respond to our request for comment on the alleged hush money settlement. McMahon's lawyers say in a letter to the Wall Street Journal that the paralegal made no claims of harassment and that she was not paid by the WWE when she left the company.
You can see the share price falling.
Though the company is publicly traded, the 76-year-old McMahon owns a majority of voting shares. Forbes saying he's worth $2.4 billion. He's married to Linda McMahon, who served as the Small Business Administration chief under former President Donald Trump and is a major political donor and fundraiser.
Donald Trump cannot get out of this deal.
With someone in a position like Vince McMahon, a CEO of this major publicly traded company, would he know that this relationship, even if it is consensual, would be problematic?
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't born yesterday. This guy is, mega rich. He knows how to be center stage. He absolutely understands liability and optics. And as they teach us in law school, even the appearance of a conflict could be a conflict.
McMahon, not just a media mogul, but a headliner, appearing in wrestling broadcasts and on late-night TV interviews.
Can't you get a better action figure?
That's pretty realistic, actually.
This is the most powerful person in the company by leaps and bounds.
This is not McMahon's first bout of controversy. In the 1990s, he was federally charged and later acquitted in connection with an investigation into anabolic steroids. Now, NBC News is still waiting to hear back from the WWE and attorneys for McMahon directly about this investigation, which has, according to the Journal, been ongoing for the past couple months.
This clip is discussing the current allegations against Vince brought by Janelle Grant.
To talk more about this lawsuit. Misty, thanks for being here. And I want to jump right in. There are dozens of pages here, and Ryan Bass just highlighted some of it. What accusations are standing out to you tonight in this lawsuit?
It is those human trafficking accusations that are really jumping off these 67 pages, Natasha, because this lawsuit goes beyond just allegations of sexual assault and abuse, which are absolutely horrific and terrible. But it actually takes it a step further to say that this employee not only experienced that abuse at the hands of Vince McMahon, but that in fact it went beyond that, that there was a sex trafficking operation whereby she was passed around to other individuals inside and outside of the organization. So all of those allegations together, just from a legal perspective, trigger immediate action on the part of the company, WWE, the new owner, the board, to conduct an immediate investigation into her allegations, the policies and practices, and ensure that this isn't happening to anyone else, and also to investigate the veracity of the allegations as set forth in her complaint.
The fourth clip are about old allegations that the company covered up an assault.
When her claims against Vince McMahon were made public after her death, the WWE released a statement which reads in part, "At no time was Vince McMahon or the management of WWE ever informed by Ashley Massaro or anybody else that she had been sexually assaulted, drugged, raped, or sodomized by a military doctor with a nurse standing guard while on a goodwill tour in 2007 to U.S. military bases in Kuwait." I'm joined by Ashley Massaro's former attorney, Constantine Kairos. Constantine, thank you for being here. So the WWE says she never mentioned anything to them about this attack. Is there any kind of evidence or contemporaneous reporting that suggests otherwise?
Well, Ashley was in a lawsuit that was part of a case that involved 63 other wrestlers, and they were alleging a widespread abusive, exploitative labor practices. And the reason that that allegation was part of the lawsuit is because we were arguing that it was a totally unregulated workplace. And she had put that into a submission that was required by a federal judge in Connecticut. And it was an affidavit sworn under the penalties of perjury given to a federal judge. So, the military at that time didn't launch any sort of investigation because effectively the issue was covered up by the suppression, by the report that she had made to McMahon, to the lawyers.
Feel free to pause anywhere in this next section of the video so you can read the details, as it's a print article by Vice News and not a video news clip. Since that last clip, it has come to light that former Vince McMahon right-hand man John Laurenitis has admitted the company did indeed know about the allegations on the senior level, according to this story, which refutes the idea of deniable culpability from Vince or the company. Laurenitis, who is named in the Grant lawsuit, claims to be a victim of Vince as well, according to Vice News. Extortion of control over Laurenitis is the basis of what he's claiming. The last clip takes us way back to the steroid and sex scandals for the WWF in the 1990s. For whatever reasons, those allegations kind of got swept away over the years.
Well, the baseball season doesn't open until next week. College basketball's Final Four is not till tomorrow, and the hockey players are on strike. So there's time to catch up on professional wrestling. That always strange world of hulksters and hoaxsters has been hit now with some real scandals. Bob Fall reports tonight's Eye on America.
This is to sport what Jim and Tammy Baker are to religion, what Ripper is to wine. Very distant relatives. The winner, determined by the promoter beforehand, never lays a hand on the bum, only the spit is real. And yet this hideous combination of sideshow, acrobatics, and good guy versus evil has been boffo box office. Now, though, the business has been rocked by unprecedented charges of sleaze, even sexual depravity, from ex-wrestlers appearing on late-night radio shows.
It is definitely sexual harassment any way you slice it.
to the holiest of holies, national daytime television.
Now come forward a number of people to say, because I wouldn't have sex with another guy in the game, I couldn't get promoted.
I wouldn't sleep with the vice president of operations, so they fired me.
You saw ring boys, did you, being sexually harassed?
Yes, I've seen ring boys being sexually harassed.
Weird, you say? You want weird? Take what happened to midget wrestler, the Karate Kid. Propositioned, he says, by a prominent wrestling executive, then blackballed because he said no.
The main reason, though, you didn't work was because you wouldn't go to bed with him.
I believe that's the main reason.
No criminal indictments have been brought, no lawsuits filed, but the charges are no small potatoes because the cash cow of professional wrestling claims to sell more merchandise than even the National Football League. That's not all that's at stake. Even the game's biggest name has been tarnished.
I'm glad you've been listening to Hulk Hogan for the last 5 years, yelling and screaming about training, saying your prayers, and eating your vitamins.
But what Hulk Hogan preaches is apparently not what he practices.
He took steroids like he drank water.
One-time wrestler Dave Schultz used to be the Hulkster's best friend.
Did you personally observe Hogan at any point taking steroids?
Sure. I injected Hogan with steroids many times.
Many times?
Many times.
A dozen
Hundreds
times?
of times.
Hundreds?
Hundreds.
Hulkamania is the largest arms in the world.
Hulk Hogan would not talk with CBS News, but the man who has made millions marketing Hogan has gone on the offensive.
Some of these allegations are absolutely absurd to have been raised.
McMahon insists it's all just a conspiracy to wreck his business.
And it just seems as though they're all ganging up on us all at one time.
These are people with axes to grind?
Yes.
They would like to see you fail.
No question.
There's no sign the charges have done any harm. Although Hogan's star may be waning, one major manufacturer just ordered more wrestling toys. WrestleMania will be sold out. And even critics concede promoters are rich enough and fan mania is deep enough to ride out the storm.
This is not going to wreck professional wrestling.
Oh, no. Professional wrestling, no. Professional wrestling will be around forever.
From midgets who feel discarded to might-have-beens who've fallen on leaner times, there is a crescendo of opinion. Congress ought to investigate. Yes, Congress, where checks have been hitting the canvas harder than Andre the Giant. No, wrestling or whatever this is has survived scandals before, and there is no reason to believe this one, too, won't be drowned out by all those fans who couldn't care less. This is Bob Fall in St. Joseph, Missouri, for Eye on America.
That's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News. Don't forget 60 Minutes on Sunday. I'll see you Monday.
While not all allegations are 100% about Vince himself, he is alleged to have had a part in all of them. I think also the non-Vince stuff is brought up by the lawyers to show a history of corruption at the senior levels of WWE allegedly and not taking claims more serious. That is all I have for you today, at least until we get more news to come out. Over the years you can see a real pattern that has developed, and once again, I'm not offering my opinion on guilt or innocence on Vince, as I understand innocent until legally proven guilty. That said broadly, any crimes of these natures are horrible, and if anyone does them, they should be brought to justice. Until next time, my friends, be well, and I'll see you in the next video.